guys, it's Sharon. Welcome back or welcome to my channel. If you should know one thing about me is that I make a lot of period related content and especially a lot of like first period content. That being said, I want to tell you right off the bat, I have a video on like 5 signs that you're getting your first period. That seemed to have not been enough because I still get a lot of questions like, hey, when my period comes, how do I know? How do I expect it? Like, what should I do? What can I do? So this video is basically just a whole what to expect when Mother Nature first bothers you. That's what she is, just a bother. So this is just me basically helping you out with what to expect for your first period, what are some signs, what are some symptoms, how long will it last, and more. Everyone's period experience is different, but there are some common things that could help you get an idea of what's coming or just what to look out for. If you want to see more videos like this, give us a thumbs up and let me know in the comments below. Make sure you follow my Instagram, my Twitter, and my TikTok so you have a say in my videos, get a chance to be in them, and even get to be shout out of the day. If you'd like to see more, definitely subscribe for more and go check out my all about periods playlist where it is literally, you guessed it, all about periods, whether it's tips, tricks, hacks, period horror stories in general, lots of period content. And if there's a specific video you want me to make that I haven't done yet or you want to see another part 2, definitely make sure to let me know in the comments below. But for now, let's talk into what to expect when you're getting your first period. If you are not entirely sure what a period is, which is totally okay because I've always heard the term period when I was younger before I got my period, but I never actually knew or was told what it was. So a period is basically when blood and tissue sheds from your uterus and comes out of your vagina. It's a cycle that happens once a month, every month, usually. This basically tells us, hey, you are not pregnant right now, even though you can get your period while pregnant sometimes, but that's like another entire video and topic. And long story short, I like to say one thing, and that is that periods are not normal. Periods are very, very weird. So you will quickly understand that once you get your period. Now, the day you get your period, you might notice that you feel a little bit tired, maybe a little extra tired. You feel kind of sluggish, and you might experience more intense moods. If you have mood changes around your period, that is totally normal. It's just the effect of your hormones changing. Strong emotions are linked to our periods, and they're known as premenstrual syndrome, aka PMS. Now, signs of PMS include pain or cramps in your lower belly or in your lower back, bloating in your belly, soreness in your breast, constipation or diarrhea, cravings like chocolate, and like mentioned, feeling tired, irritable, or moody. If you already are those things, think of those but like extra. I, for example, whenever my period is coming, I get extra sensitive. Anything will make me cry. That's basically how I know that she's coming. It's really helpful to just remind yourself that this is just your period, it's just your hormones, and these feelings won't last forever. Now, why do you get your period? You get your period because it is just a part of puberty. With puberty comes a lot of bodily changes, and a lot of those bodily changes are actually indicators that your first period is coming. Now, if you're not sure what puberty is or what the point of puberty is basically when your body is changing from the body of a child to that of an adult. This change is also preparing your body to be able to reproduce, have babies. Some of those physical changes include your boobs growing. You notice your boobs are getting larger and your nipples are getting a bit bigger and even more prominent. Your boobs usually grow about 2 to 2.5 years before your period. But if you notice them growing at an earlier age, like 8 or 9 years old, it may take closer for like 3 years to your period starting. Another sign of puberty, another sign that your period may be coming is when you start seeing pubic hair. Also just hair in places that wasn't there before. So pubic hair is just hair on your vagina. You'll notice that this hair gets thicker and it gets darker as you get older. That also goes for hair under your arms, hair on your legs, your arms, hair on your tummy, hair on your face. Your period usually comes 1 to 2 years after you start getting pubic hair or just body hair that wasn't there before. Now, your body's shape and size also changes quickly before your period. Not before your period every single time, but just your first period. So your hips start to get wider and your waist starts to get a bit more defined. You may even gain a little bit of weight. So your period usually starts a half year, so 6 months, or a year after your fastest growth spurt. So let's say you were like 4'11" and all of a sudden you went from 4'11" to like 5'5" really quickly. So you can expect your period after 6 months to a year from the time that you grew the quickest. Another sign is that you will start to see discharge. This is a fluid that can be a bit mucousy, and it's that mucousy fluid that you find in your underwear and you're like, what the heck is this? It can be whitish and sticky, or it could be like clear and watery. Sometimes it may even be a little bit yellowish or leave a yellowish tint in your underwear. There's also brown discharge, but that's something we'll get into later. This is honestly normal, and panty liners are perfect for this. This is a panty liner. It is a very, very tiny pad. This right here, you stick it on your underwear like you would a pad. So you peel this off like that, and you just stick it on your underwear, and this is just honestly great for discharge, so you're not staining every pair of underwear ever, because discharge is very annoying, and trust me, you will get used to discharge because she does not go away either. If it's your first period, it's likely that you'll get your period a year after noticing discharge for the first time. And if it's not your first, discharge usually starts popping up like 3 to 5 days before your period. So discharge is not a one-time thing, but an all-the-time thing. Now, other changes could include body odor and acne. It's normal to start to smell a little bit during puberty, as weird as that may sound. Honestly though, nothing deodorant in a shower can't help. Now, oil glands get stimulated when your hormones become active during puberty, and overactive glands cause acne. Acne is a part of puberty, obviously, so when you first start getting acne, your period isn't too far behind. After you've gotten your first period, acne usually starts to happen 7 to 10 days before your period. I couldn't really find like an actual timeline of you have your first zit to you having your first period. All I know is that my face will be clear the second I get one zit, or I start to break out just with the tiniest little whitehead even. I'm like, okay, I'm getting my period soon. I usually break out before my period and have to deal with the acne on my period. And then it sucks because you deal with it, you look great again, and the next you know, it's time for your period again. It's an endless cycle, okay? So that's why a skincare routine is very important, and I'm pretty sure I have like a period acne video, so definitely go check that out because acne is not fun. But anyways, I do want to point out that these are just like signs for puberty, right? And with puberty equals period, but there is no exact timeline, and I say this a lot because I mean it, and it is very true. Every body, literally every body, is different. Also, there are so many other things that could affect your body and your period, whether it's exercise, diet, stress, excessive or sudden weight gain or sudden weight loss. For example, if you start to eat like a lot of chocolate or a lot of fast food and you notice you're breaking out, that might be just you breaking out because you're eating a lot of fast food versus you breaking out because of your period. You get what I'm saying? You may also see a lot of these signs of puberty before your period, but a lot of them will also continue into already having your first period, like acne and discharge. Now, as for blood and like how much blood and what to expect, when you first get your period, you might have a lot of blood, you might have a little bit of blood. Usually bleeding is pretty light for like the first few hours, then it gets heavier as more time goes on. It may stay heavy for a few days, and then the blood flow becomes lighter eventually after 4 to 7 days, because that's how long a cycle could be, anywhere from 4 to 7 days. It could be less than 4 days, it could be more than 7 days. Again, every body is different. So that being said, everyone's cycle has a different length. And also, your period cycle can change lengths, whether you're changing your diet, changing your food, you're on birth control. Birth control also affects your period. So I used to have week-long periods on birth control. Now I have like a 9-day period on birth control, you know? So like, you win some, you lose some, you know? Everything affects your period. Now, a very, very important thing to remember, because I get this asked a lot. Your period will be very irregular at the beginning. I'm always asked, oh my God, I had my first period and I haven't seen it and it's been like 3 months. That is normal, and that is so normal. And the reason I say that is because think about it this way. You just had your first period. Your body just did something it has never done before. So your body is like, what the heck was that? We got to do this again? Hold up. I got to learn this. Your body now has a brand new job it has never done before. So it has to learn how to get used to it. That means for the first few years, your period might be irregular, whether that means light or heavy periods, late or early periods, short or long periods, and symptoms like period pain, moodiness, leg pain, nausea, headaches, PMS symptoms. All those things can change. For example, when I was first having my period, like when I first started getting my period, I never had period cramps, ever. Cramps just did not happen to me. Cramps looked at me and they're like, nah, we're gonna leave her alone. Now cramps look at me and they're like, we're gonna annoy the hell out of her. I get cramps all the time, and they're bad cramps, and that's something I didn't have before. Whether it's just my period changing on its own, or whether it's like other bodily differences, like switching birth control, for examples. Again, there's just so many little things that can change your period. Literally exercising, starting to work out, doing PE more, which contrary to popular belief, it's actually really good to work out on your period because getting your muscles moving and getting them flowing actually helps to avoid and get rid of cramps. So fun little life hack there for you. But anyways, back to what I was saying. I do want to explain something because I've noticed comments asking me about this too. So when I say light or heavy periods, so the way you can tell the difference between these is a light period is you're not bleeding a lot. You can use like a regular pad or a small pad or a regular tampon. A heavy period is when you are bleeding a lot and you need a bigger tampon and a bigger pad. Instead of needing like a regular pad, you might need like a nighttime pad to wear during the day, which, listen, no shame, just because it says night pad doesn't mean you gotta wear it at night. So that's what heavy and light means when referring to a period. Now, when you first see your blood, it may be pink, it may be red, or it may be brown. So your period blood is usually brown or pink when it's a lot lighter, when there's less blood there. And it becomes a richer red when the flow gets heavier. That includes that brown discharge that I mentioned. This is basically just old blood that was a little bit too late to the shedding your uterus party. And that's what I first saw when I got my first period, is I noticed that little brown discharge and I was like, oh my God, did I just poop from my vagina? I didn't know that could happen, but it was just old blood. At the end of the day though, you just have to constantly remind yourself to be patient and to be kind to your body, especially as it's learning this new process. So I hope this has helped you guys out. I hope it gave you some peace of mind. Honestly, your period is nothing to be embarrassed about, nothing to be shamed about, and nothing to be that stressed out about either. I get how nerve-wracking it can sound or be to get your first period and being like, I need to be prepared, I gotta go through this, and then I gotta go to school and have my period, but I promise you, it's not that difficult to learn and get used to it. And I will give you one more piece of advice. That is, it is always better to be over-prepared than under-prepared. So if you're wearing a big fat pad and you bleed just one drop, at least you were prepared. Better than having a really heavy period and you're only wearing like a panty liner or a really small pad, you know? So just take that into consideration. But anyways, I hope this helps you guys out. If you think it does, or if it did, give us a thumbs up. If you have any more questions or concerns or comments or just any input you want to add, definitely make sure to comment that down below. Shout out of the day goes to Amy on Instagram, but thank you so much. If you'd like to be shout out of the day, just follow me on my Instagram and stay active. Like I mentioned, I make a lot of period content. I have a video where it's 5 signs that your first period is coming. If you want like a simpler version, definitely go check that out. I also just have a playlist full of a lot of period stuff in general, whether it's your period horror stories or tips, tricks, hacks for schools, so many other stuff. If there's a specific period video you want to see, whether it's a new one or a part 2, let me know. I also have videos where I test different period products, different reusable period products, so that's another good series to binge. Lots of helpful stuff here. And my girl talks, girl. Don't get me started. But anyways, if you want to see more, definitely subscribe for more, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!